Hello, everybody. It is Matt, and it is Bloodthirsty Thursday, and I am back at you with yet another review. Before I roll on to any of that, I want to wish each and every one of you a great morning, evening, dawn, day, or dusk, all that lovely stuff, because life really is too short as is. Do me a big favor and like, share, and subscribe. I love seeing your beautiful faces when you are here. I know I'm here an awful lot, but I have an awful lot on my plate to review. And one last little tidbit of info. Check out the description box. I give you a bigger bite of every single movie of every single day, such as your brief synopsis, your starring cast, directors, runtime of the cut I am watching, along with the link for a trailer for today's movie, a link for where you can watch it for free, and if you decide you can help support Matt's Movie Mania and toss me a couple of bucks. Now that I got all that said in mind and all that out of the way, let's roll on to the film of the day. And today's is a very, very interesting one. It is from both David R. Williams and Cory Cowley. They did a bang-up job directing this. It also co-stars Cory Cowley, or stars, however you want to say it. Her character is not in it a whole lot, but you do see her randomly throughout. And I gotta say, this is one hell of a creepy movie. It is none other than NULL. Yes, NULL. That is the name. Very interesting title to choose, in my opinion, because last I thought NULL meant nothing, or zero, zilch, nada, like nothing. But there's a whole lot going on here visually. This is definitely one that is not for everybody. This is for extreme fans of found footage, POV style horror with creepy elements and lots of just bizarre imagery that you'll see throughout this film. Now, what exactly is it about? Well, it's about a guy who gets an experimental eye surgery done on him, to where it's an optic like eye type thing, and it's all computerized, and you start off with a gnarly effect of them working on the eye itself, which is really freaking cool. I really liked that. I thought it was really just intense. Good stuff. Great way to start a movie. And then you go on to him. He's found himself in a bunch of back rooms, and he is completely alone. Or is he completely alone? That's where Cory Cowley comes in, and she does a great job with a extremely creepy effect with her character. Especially at the very end. I absolutely love the end of this when she does her great coup de grace in here. But as this guy's wandering around in these back rooms, he hears noises. We see images, we see shadows. I believe at one moment there was a point where we saw 3 shadows, which he's by himself, so it was kind of creepy. And then you hear this constant sound of it sounding like somebody's walking around in there with him as well. Yeah, I really like this movie. Now, as far as going over things in the movie, I don't want to give away anything, because this one is one you have to see to really admire it. Me just talking about it isn't going to do it enough justice, I feel, because I think this is actually a really good film. But I just know that it's going to have a very niche crowd. So this one definitely is for people that like that found footage style. So definitely, if you're not into that, don't watch, because you won't like it. And honestly, I don't see any reason why not to like it, but I just know how people are with found footage stuff, and they can be awfully critical and rough on those types of films, especially the more lower budget, the lower end of the budget it gets. People aren't willing to look over certain things, which upsets me as a film critic, because there's lots of great things in independent cinema like this that deserve the push and the attention that they truly deserve. Because if it wasn't for independent cinema, Hollywood wouldn't exist, in my opinion, because they would have nothing as far as original ideas, because they steal most of the original ideas from independent cinema. It just, not all of them, but a good portion of nowadays directors do. I used to love Hollywood, but now I'm just not really with that business or that crowd anymore. It's toxic as hell. I'd rather hang out in the trenches with independent filmmakers like David R. Williams and Cory Cowley. So definitely do yourself a huge favor. Check this movie out. Now on to the three things that I love my movies to meet. First is audio. It's interesting how this one's set up. It's got a style to where it has to have this static and background feed, and it adds more element to it, because there really is, let's face it, there's really not a lot of dialogue in this movie. So you don't have to worry about characters running long speeches about the Gettysburg Address or anything of that nature. You're not going to get a whole lot of dialogue on that end. So the audio is, it works perfectly for the way that it's set up and the way that it's meant to be. I really like it. Like I said earlier, it really adds a certain extra oomph to it. A lot of just really powerful sounds, like they just really get to you. They're very piercing to the ears. It's really interesting. So I'm going to give it an A+ on that end. Now onto the dialogue. Since there's really no dialogue at all, I'm not going to give it a grade whatsoever. I'm just going to leave that one null. Zilch, 0 on that one. Not that that's a bad thing. I watched lots and lots of films without dialogue in it, and that does not make it a bad movie by any means. So now on to the third thing, which is the editing. Editing is done, I think, really well in this. It's put together at a fine fashion. It keeps you intrigued enough to where you're not like checking the runtime or anything like that. I feel like the runtime, speaking of, is good and perfect for this film. I think if it would have went any longer, it probably would have hurt it just a little bit. But I think it ran great for that time. What was it? I think an hour and 12 minutes. I think that's pretty good for this. What was I going to say? Oh, the editing has a good pace as well. For it being a slow burn, this has a good pace in it that doesn't drag too much. Because I know some people don't like slow burns as well. I like a good slow burn. This one really is definitely falls in that category. So I would give it another A on that end as far as the editing goes. And now on to my final score of 1 through 5. It's going to get a 4 out of 5. I really enjoyed this one, but like I said, this is not for everybody. It's one, like I said, extreme independent cinema fans will really enjoy this. I feel like people that like found footage, people that like slow burns, people that like stuff to deal with technology in their horror films, or just films in general. It has that going on as well. So it's got a lot going on. All right, guys, I've jabbered long enough. I'm going to get the hell out of here. I'll see you on Saturday for another review. And as always, I love seeing your faces, and peace.